Jennifer Hudson may have been caught off guard by someone she previously referred to as her life partner, not by the industry or a setback in her career. A man who was praising her on camera until lately. Everyone believed that Common, the socially aware musician, actor, and purported relationship expert, was at last prepared to start a family. He exalted Jennifer rather than merely discussing her. He discussed marriage, dedication, and connection in interviews, saying things like, "She's one of the greatest blessings of my journey." Fans thought this was it because of the emotion with which he talked. That Common had finally found love after years of failed relationships with the best in Hollywood. However, the murmurs are now more audible than before. He has allegedly already moved on. Even worse, there are rumors that he has been talking behind Jennifer's back and that he has revealed that he can't tolerate her. Fans are stunned. How does one go from being a life partner to disparaging someone in an instant? And that's only the drama on the surface. There's a lot darker tale going on behind the Instagram pictures and headlines. One that was full with emotional baggage, covert animosity, adultery allegations, and yes, doubts about Common's actual tastes. We're discussing allegations from ex-lovers, unnamed sources, and even a suggestion that Common may be engaging in a completely new kind of covert activity. Then there is Jennifer, a formidable individual with a complex past of her own. According to others, she hasn't been the same since her previous romance ended in grief and legal trouble. Could Common have been pushed away by her walls? Or did she just recognize him for who he truly is at last? It's more than just a breakup. It's a complete breakdown of relationships, reputations, and everything they attempted to conceal. There are layers to this story, so let's untangle the mess. Common couldn't stop praising Jennifer not long ago. He talked about their connection as if it were a sacred thing, spiritual as well as romantic. In an interview, he stated, "This is one of the greatest blessings of my journey." His tone was serene and thoughtful. He wasn't merely declaring his love. He spoke close camaraderie, emotional camaraderie, and a unique form of connection that most people can only imagine. It wasn't a casual flings language. It seemed strong and permanent, as though he was at last prepared to put down his running shoes and start a meaningful project. He referred to Jennifer as his life partner and highlighted how she helped him grow, grounded him, and supported him. The fans were moved. They appeared to be a match made in heaven, and others on the internet were referring to them as a power couple. Common seemed to have finally stopped his cycle for a while. The pattern of seeking the high and then fading away when things become too real. But everything changed in an instant. A new kind of energy exploded across the internet. A flurry of rumors, side-eye remarks, and anonymous posts from those close to the pair. Common was suddenly being connected to a new mystery woman who was purportedly seen cuddling up to him in public without Jennifer. Even more startling are allegations that he was disparaging her, apparently telling friends and coworkers that he could no longer tolerate her, and that she had become controlling, aloof, and unpleasant. He was making plans for the future one moment. He was apparently running in the opposite direction the following time. Just quiet and conjecture, with no statements or explanations. What then took place? Was he pushed away by Jennifer? Or did Common simply act in his usual manner when love became a bit too real? Regardless of the reality, it wasn't unexpected. Because Common has a history of disappearing. This is nothing new to anyone who have been following Common for more than a minute. The man has dated some of Hollywood's most infamous women. We are discussing exceptional skill, attractiveness, intelligence, and strength. The tennis goat, Serena Williams. The queen of the theater and the screen is Taraji P. Hennon. An iconic musician with a spiritual bent is Erykah Badu. Angela Rye, Tiffany Haddish, and even Ava DuVernay. The list resembles a who's who of powerful female activists and entertainers. Nevertheless, none of them persisted. The conclusion is always the same, regardless of how private or public the connection was. No harsh answers, quiet and ambiguous. They can be seen hand in hand on red carpets or uploading photos one moment and then disappearing the next. A new name was announced months later, but there were no announcements or closures, just a void. Because he consistently seems to recover when the butterflies subside, fans have begun referring to it as the Common cycle. What Common himself acknowledged in treatment only serves to highlight this. He didn't mince words. He claimed to have what therapists refer to as a love addiction, though it wasn't physical. It was sentimental. He was captivated by the beginning, the thrill, the pursuit, and that euphoric initial stage when everything seems ideal and beautiful. But as the novelty wore off, he would start to distance himself. He claimed that when the adrenaline of being in love subsided, he used to confuse it for a real, long-lasting relationship and believed the love was over. The question that now arises is, did Jennifer know this and choose to disregard it? Or did she think she was unique? That the cycle might be broken by her strength, background, and vitality? Perhaps it doesn't. According to reports, Common was prepared to move things along. He is said to have proposed slowly and purposefully, like a man who was at last ready to settle down, rather than in a hasty, spontaneous manner. But it didn't sit well with Jennifer. She didn't think marriage was in her future, according to people close to her. Not now, not ever, not with him. And can you really blame her? Jennifer is more than simply a naive romantic. She has experienced public anguish, suffering that was documented in courtrooms, custody disputes, and tabloids. She was engaged to David Otunga prior to Common. Their relationship started off with optimism, but ended with accusations of emotional manipulation, control, and a year-long legal battle. She accused him of threatening behavior, filed for protection orders, and he responded by portraying her as emotionally unavailable, cold, and cunning. You don't just let that type of pain unpunished. According to people close to Jennifer, Common helped her feel loved and supported, but the past nevertheless left her with scars. She secretly didn't think any man was trustworthy enough to take that risk once more. Not one like Common, who has a history of emotional outbursts and brief romances in the public eye. For Jennifer, it might have felt like déjà vu. Another attractive man, another great promise, another heartbreak waiting to happen. Even if Common was genuinely serious and prepared. What would happen if she said yes and everything went apart? As the media tore her apart, she would be right back where she had begun to pick up the pieces. Thus, it might not have been about Common in particular. Perhaps it has to do with self-defense and survival. Because it wasn't chilly to say no after everything she's been through. Rejection is reciprocal, but it was required. And it might not have gone over well with Common. Fans started to realize something wasn't right. Additionally, the internet quickly began to make the connections. It seemed subtle at first. Fewer appearances in public. Two persons were suddenly shown walking steps apart in paparazzi photos that had previously shown them holding hands. Gone is the chemistry that exuded from their red carpet pictures. TikTok body language specialists began commenting, pointing out that Jennifer's smile no longer quite reached her eyes. How Common appeared preoccupied, disengaged, as if his thoughts were elsewhere. Then the mysterious posts appeared. Jennifer started posting ambiguous posts on social media, such as, "Keep your peace at all costs," or sometimes the loudest response is silence. No context, no names. Fans, however, noticed the change right away. Inspiration was no longer the only factor. It had a sharp feel. The rumors began to spread at that point. According to reports, Common was spotted out and about with several women, appearing a bit too amiable. Just a growing list of sightings, hazy images, and rumors on social. Sightings, hazy images, and rumors on social. Media, nothing specific. However, where there is smoke, there is typically fire in the realm of celebrity rumors. Then came the most shocking accusation. Common was telling his friends and family that he could no longer tolerate Jennifer because she was too much, too strong-willed, and too difficult to handle. It was a startling contrast. Only a few weeks before, this man had referred to her as a blessing. One man claimed that she altered his viewpoint on partnerships. How did he do then? From utterly enamored to totally flipped away? Was it resentment following rejection? An ego injury? Or had he been acting all along, waiting for the ideal reason to leave? Fans were the first to notice that something had changed, regardless of the cause. It gets considerably messier from here. Former Common collaborator and ex-boyfriend Jaguar Wright once made news for making a number of explosive accusations against him. And they weren't just resentful ex-partners. Jaguar has a lengthy history of bringing industry leaders to light with charges that, in certain situations, have shown to be accurate. People listened to her when she spoke up. She claims that Common isn't genuinely in love with black women. He dates them only when it enhances his reputation. She added that although he is strategic about who he associates with in public, leveraging partnerships to remain relevant and involved in social causes, he has always preferred men in private. Jaguar even brought up a matter that has been the subject of years of silent fan speculation. Even though he has dated some of Hollywood's most outspoken and uncensored women, none of them have ever discussed his performance or intimacy in public. Not in books, interviews, casual conversations, or anything else. On the surface, that could appear to be respectful, but Jaguar maintained that they were purposefully avoiding the topic because the truth would raise concerns. Then there's the still circulating anonymous story. At a gathering for the Hollywood industry, Common Man allegedly spoke up a white man for more than an hour while ignoring the man's wife, who was a well-known publicist. The individual asserted that the reported comment, "So what are you doing later?" was not a misinterpretation, and that Common was making direct advances on him. Is this all confirmed now? No. However, the rumor has surfaced on other occasions as well. Additionally, it raises questions about what's actually happening behind the polished image when stories from many voices at various times keep coming back. According to others, Common's issues with committed partnerships may be more complex than his love addiction. It might have to do with identity. In the profession, there have long been hushed rumors that his disengagement from women stems from more than simply emotional exhaustion. It also stems from uncertainty about his own identity. And if that uncertainty is real, it might be the result of what he supposedly went through as a child. There have been persistent, unsubstantiated rumors that a man exploited Common when he was younger. In reality, Common mentioned this in his memoir, claiming that he once recalled being sexually assaulted during a sleepover by a male family friend. He described it as something that left him bewildered, ashamed, and finding it difficult to digest even as an adult, without going into graphic detail. And that's the missing component for certain people. Such trauma can have a lasting impact on a person, particularly on their ability to relate to others on an emotional and romantic level, if they never fully recover from it. In public, Common has consistently exuded kindness, compassion, and activism. In private, though, the same vulnerability may make it difficult for him to commit, trust, or even recognize the type of connection he really desires. He isn't living a lie because of it. However, if the illusion wears off, it can lead to internal conflict, identity struggles, disguising those struggles with performative interactions, and losing interest. It would be painfully logical. We can't say for sure, of course. This is still conjecture. His own statements, past relationships, and unspoken rumors, however, come together to create a picture of a man who might not be fleeing from women, but rather from something inside of himself. Let's not pretend, however, that Jennifer's past is perfect. David Otunga came before Common, and that wasn't clean at all. With their shared son, red carpet appearances, matching smiles, and almost 10 years of engagement, Jennifer and David's relationship initially had all the makings of a picture-perfect romance. But over time, fissures appeared. And when it all broke apart, it did it in a way that was extremely unsettling and very public. David was accused by Jennifer of controlling and manipulating her emotions. According to the most disturbing allegation, David allegedly spied on her by having his kid film her during a late-night recording session in Chicago because he thought she was cheating. Just that charge revealed a relationship tainted by distrust and paranoia. David, however, didn't remain quiet. He retaliated by making his own claims, alleging that Jennifer had cheated on him, supposedly with producer and gospel singer Molly Music. He said that Jennifer used her notoriety as a weapon to slant the story in her favor and paint him as the bad guy. She wasn't the victim, he said. He was. Because of how quickly things got out of hand, Jennifer requested and was given an immediate protective order. Only months later, after David promised to completely avoid her property, was it dropped. It was more than just a breakup. That was an intense legal dispute enmeshed in psychological distress. Additionally, it obviously left scars on Jennifer. It's simple to wonder why she's reluctant to trust again from the outside. But is it really shocking that she would be wary, especially around someone like Common Man after being publicly hauled, embroiled in legal issues, and charged with things she never completely addressed? Because love no longer feels safe after you've experienced that kind of emotional turmoil. It begins to feel dangerous. The awkward topic of what if Common isn't the only one with baggage is beginning to be raised by certain people. The lady who endured unspeakable emotional tragedy, professional pressures, and ugly public breakups is behind Jennifer Hudson's strong voice and polished public demeanor. Although she is frequently perceived as the victim, some insiders speculate that she may have adopted defensive behaviors like emotional control and detachment. Rumors circulate in the entertainment industry that Jennifer has a propensity to establish financial and emotional domination in her relationships. According to one tale, because she was the better earner, she frequently treated common people as though they were beneath her. Even though Jennifer has a great talk show and movie career, an Oscar and a Grammy, wealth and position can lead to a silent power imbalance that subtly weakens even the strongest bonds. Furthermore, this is nothing new. Similar allegations that she was emotionally distant had financial advantage, and occasionally used that advantage to stifle his demands, appeared in her relationship with David Otunga. In order to help her, David even claimed to have sacrificed his job, yet he was eventually accused of freeloading. It begs the question, is Jennifer erecting such high barriers that no man can emotionally connect with her? Indeed, Common is known for being hesitant to commit. But what if this time he really did try? Opened up, demonstrated development, and provided stability, only to encounter aloofness, mistrust, or emotional detachment. Jennifer might have seen vulnerability as weakness as a result of her prior trauma. Additionally, she may have unintentionally turned away someone who was willing to love her despite her imperfections in an attempt to shield her heart. Because in certain relationships, it's more about who is guarded than who is wrong. Ultimately, we are not entirely aware of the truth. Common may have cheated. Perhaps his ego was more hurt than he admitted after Jennifer rejected him too many times. Perhaps the entire relationship was just another phase in his habit of chasing sparks, but never starting a fire, and he had no intention of staying in the first place. Or perhaps there is more to the story than internet hypotheses and gossip blogs. Perhaps the Commons have been engaged in a silent internal conflict, linked to unresolved trauma, identity issues, and a dread of being fully noticed. Perhaps he was pushed away because Jennifer saw more than he was prepared to disclose. However, it's possible that Jennifer is more than just a victim in this situation. Perhaps she's put up barriers so high that nobody can get beyond them, not even someone as ostensibly kind as Common. Perhaps her emotional detachment, her inability to commit, or her quiet left a void that love couldn't fill. Or perhaps, and this is the unexpected turn of events that nobody wants to think about, they are still together. Observing the world analyze their relationship, read through the gossip, and argue over who they are like TV characters. Additionally, they may be allowing it to occur since silence can often speak louder than words ever could. However, one thing is certain, the reality is seldom straightforward when it comes to love in Hollywood. There are layers to it. It's disorganized. Furthermore, it is rarely what it appears to be from the outside. What do you think then? Is Common simply being what his name suggests? An unbreakable pattern in a heartbreaker? Or is it Jennifer who has too many walls? This narrative is far from over, so please share your thoughts in the comments to allow true love to enter. Everybody,